chosen ones, y'all. What's up with y'all, family? You know, I'm gonna end the series with this video, but it was damn for sure a good ass topic to discuss about. These are endless topics, y'all. Because you learn something from it, you know. Not only do you learn how to be yourself, but you learn how to express that in this world full of fucking zombies, you know. So, you know, let's talk about it today. You know, the top of your head, y'all, or what you want to call where your ether lies, that's the crown chakra, you know. That's the energy center or portal that connects you to the universe or the spirit that you are, or you know, you are in a sense, you know. So the crown chakra, y'all, you know, once you awaken this energy, you will be able to receive cosmic downloads like myself, y'all. That's how you start wanting to be teaching others, or you want to learn more about this world because you take care of yourself. You put that work in. The Most High is giving you the glow, the knowledge, and the courage to present it to others without feeling or caring how the world judges you, yo. When I give you these videos, yo, I'm not looking for attention. You know, I'm happy when people don't comment. Even if they just watch it, that excites me because I'm not here for attention. I'm not seeking relevance, yo. I'm pushing out truth in a way that most people can't, because most people don't know about this, nor do they want to, because they're slaves to their desires, you know. That's what separates me from 99% of motherfuckers in this society, yo. So that portal, or that energy point within you, you know, once you open it, you will feel lighter, you know. You will be living in your ghost form like self. So that means that people who vibrate on the flesh, on the physical side of the world, yo, they won't be able to see you, because now your atoms are vibrating too fast for you to be perceived, you know. Take that with a grain of salt, yo. But think about how powerful that is, y'all. You know, simply just you and your energy alone has the power to become invisible in a physical world where people crave the flesh. So if someone can't see you, yo, it's gonna trip them the fuck out. But in a way they won't even know, because you're not gonna be visible to their eye. That's why I say, yo, science was only taught to us so little, but yet they tell you the full amount of what you should know, because your power will be right in front of your hands, you know. It deals with the color violet, yo. That's why violet is what truly helps you reach enlightenment. Enlightenment deals with knowledge. It deals with, you know, literally the ghost-like realm that I'm telling you right now, family. That's power. You know, you don't want nobody to see you, right? You want to become invisible. Work on that crown chakra, y'all, because that's where it starts. That's when you really start, you know, learning how to control your chi or your life force, because only you can see it for yourself, y'all. Yes, you will see your fleshly body, but what I'm telling you is that people around you will not be able to pick up on your energy or your avatar. So when you go around people with that chakra open, y'all, and you have high amounts of energy, you will realize how nobody's looking your way because they can't see you. This is your protection. This is how you were able to show those rainbow-like colors from that's within you on the outside of your skin, because you are a frequency-based being, y'all. So you have the power to emit any color you want to. You can't do that now. But once you know who you once were, that power can never be taken away from you, because you know the soul knows all truths, yo, but the ego must accept that for it to fully embrace itself, you know? But this is powerful, yo, because what can people tell you, yo, once you have discovered yourself and self-mastery? What can they tell you, yo, once you realize how far you can take this shit and how much light you can become, you know? Nobody. Because they fear that knowledge you have, and they fear how high a frequency you can go to. You know, we're luminous beings, yo, like I've told you before. There's no amount of frequency that you can't take, whether it may be high or low. No frequencies kill you over time. Because your soul and spirit want to be free as light. Because you're not held down by nothing that holds your spirit and soul down. And that's why you were able to turn those colors and become invisible and become super strong, super fast, quick on your reflexes, all day, etc. But you must see that for yourself, man, you know? But this chakra, y'all, it also deals with, you know, spiritual aliens, you know? You want to talk to a loved one, you know, or you want to get that, or you want to receive a message from somebody that you want to talk to, you can, if you work on that chakra long enough to see it. It might baffle you, but how and why would it if they were spirit and soul as well? Stop looking at people like they're the body. That's what's going to limitate your spiritual evolution, you know, if you think that somebody is the body, you know? You can talk to any loved one you want to, y'all, if you give yourself enough time and enough energy to see it happen. You know, I'm telling you this because I live this and I did this and I've embraced the side of enlightenment, y'all. That's why, though you may be alone, you're not alone. You have your guardians, your spirit team, anybody you can't see with you, watching you, hands over you right now, hoping that you speak and keep this message alive. Because the generation that came before us that couldn't do this, we're here to give this new generation a chance, y'all, to make sure that this shit don't happen again. So use this, you know, your energy, y'all. It's like a key, like I've told y'all. And once you activate it, you enter the kingdom of heaven. Only you can, though, because you have a soul. And you were given an intelligence to do so, you know? So, it's best to work on that chakra when you can, y'all. It's the most necessary chakra. Because unlike the others, y'all, you know, it will prevent you from getting headaches. Or it will help you when you are having problems with your head. You know, you might go through things and you might feel lightheaded. Or just your brain might feel like it hurts because you're thinking too much. And also, y'all, you will be given telepathy the more you go within on this chakra because it deals with the mind and you know, the energy up here, which deals with your intelligence, y'all. I'm only gonna tell things that I have received and I have seen that firsthand, y'all. You know, like I've told y'all, I have the power of telepathy and telekinesis, y'all, where I can move and bend things with my chi because I'm not looking at everything around me like it's separate from me, y'all. Everything around you is based upon energy, y'all. Only when you know that everything is in a sense of you, it's truly when you know you can move it with your mind because nothing else separates you from what it is that you are seeing physically because we are all connected by energy, y'all. That's literally the key to it right there. Before you get this message, y'all, you would have to be full of energy. You would have to be spiritually worked on and in tune with yourself because the ego, it makes you encounter doubt, worry, stress, fear, right? And that's not who you are as soul and spirit, y'all. That's why your belief is everything. Even if you have a lot of energy and you do this, if you don't believe in it, it won't work because you're putting that spell upon yourself for it not to work, y'all. You know? But like I've told you, family, once you awaken that chakra, you will install, or you will become the one that's feared, because your ego has been, controlled. You're the controller of your ego now, y'all. So when you want your spirit and soul to live through you, you activate it, y'all. Most people don't do this. They have an identity that's false because they only became or chose to be somebody that the programming has taught them to be, and they chose that. I'm giving y'all truth in a way where you can deeply understand this, y'all, because everything you look up to or idolize didn't come from you, y'all. It came from something outside of you, y'all. So why would you roll with it? I'm not telling you not to agree with it or adore it. But why would you let what you see outside of you make you become something of that caliber? That's right there your problem, y'all. You must go within yourself and cleanse those chakras, y'all, because once you align all 7 of them, you will reach this perfection or this perfected state of, I like to call, peace or heaven. Because you don't need no money for that feeling to be given to you, nor do you need anybody. All you need is the knowledge, the energy built up within you to believe in it, and to actually see it rotate through your portals so they can open. And you need, patience, because it doesn't happen in the beginning stages, y'all. You must work hard enough to see the work pay off, But remember, telekinesis and telepathy, y'all, are not things that you do with the physical you. No, you must work on your spirit and enhance or attune your soul, because that's what steps in and controls everything around you, y'all. Remember, you want to move things with your mind, right? You want to be able to move boxes or move something without touching it, right? Well, literally, y'all, nothing outside of you is going to give you that power, because you're not trying to move things with your hands. You're trying to do it with your mind. That's when the pineal gland is important, y'all, because with that eye, y'all, you can travel out of it with your energy, y'all. And just by you giving something else attention, y'all, it will either glitch, combust, or it's gonna move at your will, at your call, because you're now operating out of king or queen-like energy, y'all, which the ego can't hold, because the ego was only given to us to keep us asleep or to keep us stagnant, But this was the video right here, y'all. I don't want to make this one too long, because though this is one of the most powerful chakras that you will ever have, there's not much to say about it. But in a simple way, you will have superhuman-like powers or abilities that you may not believe in, because you don't work on yourself daily, You treat your ego like if it's to be treated. That's why you might love eating foods that kill you, but your ego loves to taste, because you're treating your physical you, y'all. What about your spirit and soul, y'all? How you ever supposed to evolve as a soul and grow older and wiser if you're not taking care of that? I'm not saying you can't treat the ego and eat the physical things. It's about balance, y'all. It's about keeping everything where it should be. It shouldn't be like this or like this. But this was a video, and I hope that for those that are seeking these kind of abilities, y'all, telepathy, telekinesis, seeing your crystalline body start to form, it takes so much energy alone, because before that happens, you have to go through a state of metamorphosis, like I've told y'all. You don't just become this or get those powers, y'all. Your body has to literally metamorph itself and to become attuned to that frequency. Just like how a butterfly is in a larva stage before it flies, right? Your body has to get ready. It has to prepare the physical you for you to eventually fly and take off. It starts internally first before you see it in the physical world. That's why in your dreams, y'all, you can dream about flying, and so it will be, because your mind's telling you you can. but your physical body is not yet with the proper activation and upgrades for it to physically take place right here, right now. That's what I'm telling your family. You must prepare your mind, your body, and your soul for everything else, you know, rises back up with you, y'all, physically. But right now, what you need to be doing is try to eat healthy as you can, work out as much as you can, and, you know, trust yourself and meditate, man, because you're working on your spirit and soul. This was a video, though, man. Remember, the crown chakra. It's a way to tap in to any spirits that you may want to call upon. And I'm not telling you to do this. Do this at your own risk, because just like there's good in the world, there's also evil. So be careful what you do with this power, y'all. And when you do activate it, you will thank me later, man. But I'll see y'all, man. I'll say.